Hello loves, today's video is a viewer request from a viewer who's had a difficult relationship with feminine energy in her life. Very painful experiences in her life around the sacred feminine and the energy of female and women's energy in general. And the question that she had asked if I would address in the viewer request series is how to start to build and heal your relationship with the sacred feminine. If you've had a very negative experience with the sacred feminine and a very positive energy with the sacred masculine, how do you start to bring that into balance? And as it is the Sabbath of Beltane this weekend, and I have another video coming today to the channel on Venus, it felt appropriate to address this question at this time while I don't know, how would we say that? Really plugged into the energy of the sacred feminine in her ripest, most fertile form. So the first thing that I want to say is the awareness that there is a disconnect around the sacred feminine for you is a huge part of the healing journey. Bringing awareness to where we have wounds and disconnect in regards to deity is very important. Now, I will say if you're watching this and you have the opposite experience, that you have a difficult connection with the sacred masculine, but a really great connection with the sacred feminine, you can flip anything that I'm going to talk about in this video to work with that energy for you. But in this video, we're going to be addressing wounds around the sacred feminine. So the first piece here, the first piece of the puzzle around healing is the awareness that you've been able to bring to the table here for yourself, that there is a wound around trust. And I think it's important to allow yourself to grieve and mourn the fact that your experience of being mothered and experiencing a sense of community around women, that there has been pain and loss around that. I think it's very important to actually give yourself some space here to mourn that. Not kind of rushing yourself through the process of reconnecting with the sacred feminine around this, but like actually crafting ritual, doing some tarot spreads or card spreads around allowing your physical body to actually release, whether that's through crying, through yelling or screaming. I know for me, a really big way that I've healed my own wounds has been to actually just go to the ocean and scream and yell into the roar of the waves. That is something that feels like a safe space for me to scream, where I'm not going to be affecting anyone with how loud I am, but that I can really connect in with the water element and just let it all out. So, you know, giving yourself that space, crafting some ritual around the mourning, the laying to rest of this wound is, I think, a very important part of the puzzle in healing and bringing the sacred feminine into balance. And that process can be ongoing for you. You know, it's not like a one and done thing, but I do think that kind of delineation that, okay, before I step into building trust with the goddess, with a face of deity here, I'm going to allow myself to honor that there has been a loss, that there has been betrayal, that there has been abandonment, that there has been wounding around how I experience and am able to trust the sacred feminine. So give yourself some space, craft ritual, get out in nature, go to the ocean, go to the lake, go to the water, go to a river, scream it out, move it out of the body. Because when we're working with the sacred feminine, we are working with the vessel, which is our physical body. And so within our body is trapped the cellular memories around those wounds that have to do with the sacred feminine. So give yourself space to craft ritual and to allow yourself to fully grieve. Now, as you've moved through that process, we'll often find on our journey, those of us with significant wounding around faces of deity, that a goddess will call to us. So she will appear and we'll kind of feel her on the periphery asking to work with us. I often find that while her appearance may be in a way that we cannot ignore, She will then wait for us to initiate full contact. The most important thing here I would like to offer, if you are looking to heal wounds around the sacred feminine, is that this is about building a relationship, which is going to take time, it's going to take commitment, and it's also going to take space. So the first thing I would say is kind of pace yourself in connecting with the goddess, and she will give you that space. So often she'll make contact, maybe she comes through in dreams, or we're working with a specific deck and we keep getting the same card for a specific goddess. But hold on, sorry guys. Allergies are real here in New England. But then she'll wait and allow us to initiate the actual building of the relationship. So this is where I'm going to come back to the word pace yourself, because you don't necessarily want to boom, blindside yourself with like immediately building high impact contact with the goddess. Give yourself some time. So I look at it, and what was very healing for me in my own journey when Inanna and Ma Kali and Kuan Yin came forward, was to make a date to work with them. So I would say, okay, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, I have about 30 minutes to myself, and I'm just going to sit in front of my altar. I'm going to honor, let's say in this case, Inanna, and I'm going to allow her to come forward. And I would start just by being in your sacred space with the goddess. You want to treat yourself here like you would a child or an animal that's been wounded repeatedly. You want to give yourself space to feel safe with the goddess before you step into like deep healing work here. So make a date with the goddess that you feel is calling to you, and just sit in sacred space with the goddess. Then make another date. Have a deck of cards that you feel like is connected to that goddess, or to how you would like to be embodied as the sacred feminine, how you would like to build trust with the sacred feminine. And then on that next date, draw a few cards with the goddess. You know, those cards could be just general, pull a few cards and see what comes up, or have specific questions that you want to ask. And then allow the cards to speak for how you can healthily and safely build relationship with the goddess going forward, right? And then make another date. And on this date, choose to start in your inner temple. For this, I would say perhaps have a face of the sacred masculine that you trust, a god that you work with, present within your inner temple, kind of holding space so that you can connect with him and come right back to the inner temple if at any point in time you feel that the dialogue with the goddess is becoming too intense, right? So have that face of the sacred masculine present with you that you trust. Journey within your inner temple to a space where you can talk to this goddess, and now start communicating with the goddess. Ask her why she's here. Ask her how she's meant to help you heal around building trust, and talk to her about the pain that you've experienced in relation to the sacred feminine, and discuss with her what you're ready to heal around allowing yourself to be in your fullest expression of the sacred feminine, and allowing yourself to experience connection with the sacred feminine through deity work, but also through friendship and relationship building with other women in your life. Now continue to build that relationship by communicating with her in your inner temple whenever it feels appropriate, however many times a week it feels appropriate. It's like, take baby steps. And as you build the communication, then you can choose to step into ritual work, honoring her, honoring your connection, honoring the communication, and building on that connection. You're going to find that you're probably going to want to do some shadow work with this goddess for yourself around healing inner child wounds that have to do with safety and trust in regards to mother energy and mother goddesses. And the goddess will help you and assist you and guide you in being able to build that shadow work with clarity. So how do you do that? I get asked that all the time. You simply ask your goddess within your journey space. How do I best do this work? How do I best connect with you? How do I best open up to shadow work, healing, and integration around my wounds with my own mother and around my wounds with women in community? And as you connect more with her and slowly build the trust, the goddess is going to show you ritual, card spreads, and shadow work that you can do to allow for healing in regards to this. This is a journey that you want to go at your own pace with. This isn't about, again, an intensive balls to the wall, bam, hardcore, marathon series of sessions with the goddess to heal this wound forever. I think it's very important to honor and know that you'll always be, to a certain extent, working on creating balance in regards to your trust with the sacred feminine. But now you can start to do this with the goddess and with her various faces, which allows for you to explore what aspect of the goddess feels that it is that you're able to trust being a mother energy for you. And then you can begin to reparent yourself in the way that you wish you had experienced mother energy as a child. So these are steps that I have found most helpful in building and rebalancing in regards to relationship with faces of deity that I personally am very triggered around due to childhood wounding and general experience of feminine energy. It's about slowly building trust, going step by step, allowing for the mourning process, getting real and being honest about the wounds that you have around the sacred feminine, and then working with deity to offer yourself integration, awareness, and healing within these areas of your life. And always, every step of the way, feel free to have a face of deity, in this case, an expression of the sacred masculine that you truly trust and have built powerful relationship with, present, knowing that he's got your back and he's going to come forward and protect you or end the session if at any point in time you get too triggered around your mother wounds with the sacred feminine. You can even work with specific tarot cards within the structure of the major and or minor arcana to create a protective space within your sessions with the sacred feminine so that you can pop right back into that image of your chosen tarot card and disconnect when something becomes too intense, too heated around your work with the sacred feminine. And slowly over time, you will see that you'll be able to build a space of trust where you can work with the sacred feminine and allow yourself to be held in love by the sacred feminine, especially in her mothering energy. So for the viewer who requested some assistance in this, I hope you found this video helpful. Please, 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 please allow yourself to start this experience off with some way of ritual or physical expression of the mourning process of your wounds in regards to mother energy. I have found this to be most helpful for me in every step of the way on my personal journey, working with emotional healing and spiritual growth, to allow ourselves that physical expression of where we are honestly at. It allows us to name it, to see it, to claim it, and then to no longer be unconsciously defined by it, so that we can start a new chapter in our journey in regards to, in this case, healing wounds around the sacred feminine. So again, I hope the viewer who requested this has found this helpful. If your wound is with the sacred masculine or anywhere along that spectrum of sacred masculine and sacred feminine energy, please feel free to apply this to that arena of your specific experience. I am sending you, as always, so much love and many blessings. I'll see you in the next video.